My mom says you should like, subscribe, and/or follow This Is True Really News at, I don't know, Podchaser, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Pandora, or Listen Notes. Please also tell all your friends and all your enemies to like, subscribe, and/or follow This Is True Really News.
See?
Also,
goes much smoother when we write it out for you.
I think so.
This is True Really News with Scott Combs and Tony Verkanas. All the news you're about to hear is true, as far as you know.
Apparently, there's a new internet fad of eating rotten meat to get high. Have you heard about this? I have been awfully, blissfully ignorant.
I've eaten rotten meat to get sick, and that's no fun.
Exactly. Apparently, it's some sort of fad. At least we hope it's only a fad. But people do actually eat some pretty gross things, and guess what? I found some. So I hope you haven't eaten. The first one's pretty tame. You know these. This one you know.
Okay.
Rocky Mountain oysters.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Never tried them.
They're bulbuls.
Yes. Or, as they say in some places, bulbuls.
Do they say that?
No, I just make it
The
up.
testicles are skinned and pounded flat. That hurts just to say.
Ow!
Then they get a nice coating of flour, salt, and pepper. That doesn't make up for the pounding. And then get deep fried and served. So young bulls are often snipped for veterinary reasons. So the oysters probably came around when someone wondered whether they were edible. Don't you wonder which guy said, hey, I bet those would be good if we smash them up and dump them in flour? And
all we have to do is get some of those in the chicken brains you talked about last week.
See, and there we'd be the smartest, strange. Well, several towns, of course, if you aren't from the U.S., actually hold testicle festivals throughout the summer. Generally, I don't know why, but they do.
Testicle festivals, pocket watch wallet. That's all I can think of.
Hákarl, national dish of Iceland. It's basically Greenland shark that's been left to rot in the ground for several months.
I have heard about this.
Have you had any?
No.
Good, because you're in good company there. Greenland shark flesh is so much urea in it, it's actually poisonous. So the Icelandic people came up with an ingenious way to make it edible. Somebody said, hey, this will kill us, but what if we... So here's what they do. They behead the shark, they gut it, and then bury it in a shallow grave. And then they call the police, who come and say there's something buried. No, sorry. Watching.
I didn't know where it was going.
Been watching way too much TV. After fermenting for 4 months, the shark is then cut up and hung out to dry for a few more months, and it's ready to serve. Hákarl is often described as one of the most disgusting foods on the entire planet. If you need an endorsement for that, both Gordon Ramsay and Anthony Bourdain have barely taken a bite of it before they spit it out and refuse to ever touch it again. And those guys
are experts.
Try anything.
Exactly.
How about balut? Philippines.
I've heard of balut.
No, you've heard of Duluth.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's that town up north on the Lake Superior there.
Does this bus go to Duluth? Nope. It goes to Duluth like the rest of them. No, it goes beep. Never mind.
Balut, fertilized duck eggs with a partially developed embryo inside. Boy, that's eaten. The eggs are allowed to incubate for 14 to 21 days before they get collected. Then they are boiled or steamed before being served, usually with some kind of a sauce fitting your local palate.
You're enjoying this, aren't you?
Not nearly as much as I thought I would, but it ain't bad. Depending on how long the duck incubated, the embryo inside may actually resemble a baby duck. In some eggs, they have already even developed bones, which they tell me will be firm but tender after cooking.
Yum.
Balut connoisseurs usually just eat the contents of the egg straight out of the shell. Oddly enough, for all the gross you'd have to put up with, they actually are more nutritious than chicken eggs, so still not trying it. There's milt. You know of roe, right? Roe is female fish eggs, like caviar.
Oh, yeah.
Well, milt would be the male things.
Fish eggs?
Well, not eggs. It'd be like what fertilizes the eggs to get baby fish.
Rocky Mountain oysters.
Fish sperm. Stay with me, Clyde.
Okay.
Milt also refers to the sperm sacs of the male fish. It's actually quite popular. It's consumed everywhere from Japan, Korea, Russia, and the Nordic countries and the UK, because those people apparently have their taste buds rotted out at birth.
If everybody's jumping off a bridge, we should too.
You eat milt, raw or deep fried, or in my case, not at all.
Right.
China, century eggs, chicken, duck, quail, doesn't matter, placed into
Heard
a
of
mixture of clay, ash, salt, quicklime, and rice hulls. Basically, you bury it under a baseball infield. After curing for a few months in this special sauce, quicklime, doesn't that dissolve things?
What'd you say? Which what?
Doesn't quicklime dissolve stuff?
I don't know. Maybe.
Anyway, it's in that gunk for a few months, and then the eggs come out looking, well, not very egg-like. The yolk is kind of a greenish gray, while the white becomes kind of a brown translucent. They have a very salty flavor, they say, thanks to a final pH balance of between 9 and 12. Despite their appearance and strange preparation methods, century eggs are safe to eat. They're usually consumed as hors d'oeuvres, straight out of the shell. I don't care if they're safe to eat. How about warthog anus?
Hey, you take that back. I'm Scottish.
Nope, not talking about you this time.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't say Angus. Warthog Angus. If you're visiting a Nambian bushman, you might be invited to try some. Freshly cooked, of course. Whether you want to accept that is up to you, I expect. I'm guessing. Anyway, to prepare the dish, a warthog is slaughtered. After gutting, the butcher pulls out the anus and at least a foot of the intestine. All the stuff is squeezed out of the intestine and elsewhere, and the intestine is thrown into the fire pit. Never mind the ashes and the dirt. They're supposed to get in there. It's important, by the way, not to cook the intestine for too long. It should be served al dente, much like the finest in spaghetti.
This is just chitlins with benefits.
After all, who doesn't want to have some bite to their warthog anus? By the way, not Anthony Bourdain. He's back again. He put that dish right up there with Holkirk. Yeah. And last and certainly least,
oh my Lord.
Or is it the Casu Martzu or the Casu Martzu, depending on if you put the T in there or not.
Okay.
Sardinian, fermented sheep's milk cheese.
Heard of it.
Yeah, and we mean literally fermented. The cheese enters a state of decomposition. And if that's not enough for your taste buds to start drooling, an integral part of the cheese is the maggots.
Oh my God.
Nope, maggots. That's right. Casu Martzu is infested with fly larvae that you're supposed to eat along with it.
No.
Upon consumption, the maggots might try to leap out of the cheese. So you might want to, eye guards or something. You want the maggots alive, though, because if they're dead, Sardinians will tell you that the cheese is no longer edible. I don't know how to tell the Sardinians that it wasn't edible to begin with.
No.
We might question if it was edible at all, and others have done so, and actually it's illegal to manufacture in the EU and the US. But despite the ban, there's a burgeoning black market for Casu Martzu in Sardinia, because no pesky law can stop Sardinians from enjoying their rotten, infested cheese. My maggot brothers beware.
Here's a palate cleanser.
I hope so.
The plan was straightforward.
I'm never eating again.
One guy goes into Kohl's, grabs a bunch of stuff, and runs out to the waiting getaway car.
Okay, we're talking thievery here.
Yep. Okay. Clackamas County deputies responded to a call about the theft about 3:30 Monday afternoon. Upon arrival, they found the suspects with the hood of their car up, trying to get a jump from bystanders. Inside the car were phones, laptops, clothing from other stores, stolen credit cards and a credit card reader, drugs, and counterfeit cash. When interviewed by police, one suspect, Derek Schertz, said
could speak English, could he?
Yeah, oh yeah. He spoke American.
Yeah.
Derek said his accomplice, Raymond Stavig, had offered him $1,000 to take the blame, which he obviously did not. For his part, Stavig told police everything in the car belonged to his wife.
Who's a thief.
By the way.
Yeah.
Car was stolen too.
Of course it was. Gentlemen.
Steal a later model car.
Guys, if you're going to steal a car, just run it by a mechanic first. Something. Good heavens.
Oh, this thing needs a lot of work. Oh, just keep it. We'll get another.
Is that 4?
No,
I'm 4.
Keep going.
No, I was 1. You teased. Remember you?
Yeah, that was my first story.
The tease?
I read my first story. I still have one more story to go. We've only read 2 stories.
Huh. You're not going to like this then.
Why?
It's more ickiness. I was hoping to spread the ickiness out over a couple of days.
No, let's just concentrate the ickiness.
Well, you know that it's approaching, right, in several U.S. states.
New from This
Cicadas.
Is True Really News. Concentrated ickiness.
We should probably put a disclaimer on this because it's going to... Brood X cicadas are about to emerge. These are the ones that only show up every 17 years.
Yeah, I know.
They spend 17 years in the ground as nymphs before they emerge as adults to mate. There are 15 different cicada broods in eastern U.S. Out of all of them, Brood X is by far the largest, which means billions upon billions of cicadas are about to take flight, blacken the skies, and everyone goes, oh, listen, you can hear the cicadas. And I'm going...
You know what they're doing, right?
Exactly. What these insects don't realize is that their butts, yes, the south end of a northbound cicada, and they themselves, are now in mortal danger. Let me introduce you to the Masopora cigandina. It's a fungus. It parasites with gruesome results. Namely, it makes the cicadas' butts fall off. And then, I know, it sounds like a bad Monty Python joke, doesn't it? And then the fungus replaces what falls off with its own fungal mass. The spores make their way into the cicada's body, either through the food or the air. The fungus immediately starts eating away at the cicada's insides, munching on its tissue. I wonder how this didn't make the food list. Until we didn't do inside. Sorry.
Just wait for it.
Until its abdomen cracks. And of course, when that cracks, the butt falls clean off. And this is the fungus's golden opportunity.
I lost my ass to a fungus.
It grows a white chunk of spores and deposits its on place and puts the spores of its on place of the missing.
Oh my!
Badonky dunk. Don't feel too sorry for the cicada though. He doesn't even know what's happening because it's high out of its mind. Do cicadas have minds? If they do, they're drugged out of them because the mesospora produces the same chemical that magic mushrooms do. Psilocybin?
Psilocybin.
Whatever. Either way you pronounce it, it causes a distorted sense of time and reality among humans, hallucinations, and intense sense of unity with the universe and increased suggestibility. I'm expecting it probably does the same thing in a tiny little bug brain. Although if it does all that to humans, it may do less on a bug brain. So you can only imagine how the chemical affects the buggies. On top of the psilocybin, researchers even found infected cicadas with amphetamines in their systems. Doper bugs, I guess. So this cocktail of mind-bending goodies essentially allows the fungus to take full control of the cicada, or at least the south half, and it becomes a willing, zombified puppet of its new fungal overlord. Where are Rick and Daryl when you need them? But why would the fungus do all of this, you ask?
Why would the fungus do all of this?
Thank you,
Is that
William
good?
Shatner. For the same reason the cicadas emerged from the ground. Bang, bang. They want to make more. Since
Little
the cicada
fungi.
doesn't understand that it's infected, it will go about on its usual mating behavior because guys of any species just,
My leg fell off. I don't care.
Of course, without any workable parts, it can't carry on its lineage, but the fungus can. So basically, you lose, the south half of your northbound body all to a fungal bug STD.
Very much. What's funny is DC restaurants are putting cicadas in tacos. They're a distant relative of shrimp and lobster.
I hope they...
and they say they taste great.
I hope they check them for fungus.
I would try it.
Not now.
In the hopes that the fungus would be there.
You're a sick man.
The Uber 2021 Lost and Found Index. Unique lost items. You sitting down?
No, I'm just short naturally.
A tooth.
Retinol?
Don't know. Just a tooth. The guy had to call in. I left my tooth in the car. 22 bundt cakes and a pan of macaroni and cheese. How do you forget that much food in an Uber?
What? That's in one thing.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you, I don't know, several minutes later go, something's not right?
Well, they do call. That's how they get these reports.
Oh, good. Okay.
Part of an ankle monitor, though God knows why the person would call.
Because I'm guessing he's going to get checked at some point. And
In a related story, an FBI bulletproof vest.
At least it wasn't an FBI weapon, so okay.
A cooler full of fish. Rabbit legs. A catheter.
Huh?
Uh-huh. Something described.
I understand why you'd leave the catheter. I don't understand why you'd call to get it back. If you're younger than we are, you'll find out at some point.
Just send us a note and tell us what the heck is going on here. And something described as special items from Victoria's Secret. Prosthetic leg. The guy
Victoria's
Holloway?
Secret?
No, a prosthetic leg.
Oh.
You know,
I couldn't see the comma there. So
I got two
suddenly have weird
blocks.
pictures.
I got 2 blocks. Then I remembered I forgot my leg.
Why am I hopping?
And finally,
Thank you.
I left behind some wine and my edibles.
This is true, really news. Send email to TITR@netradio.network.